Have you ever heard of Ovidio Guzman? I think I said that correctly. I don't know how many other ways there is to say it. But, have you heard of him? No? I bet you heard of El Chapo. Ah, got you. El Chapo was the leader of the Sinaloa Cartel out of Mexico. He was arrested a little while back, put in prison here in America, because he kept escaping out of prison when he was in Mexico. It's one of the reasons. The other reason is he's actually a terrorist who flooded this country with God knows how much drugs, and how many millions of people were affected by the drugs that he ran. His son, Ovidio, however you say it, was arrested now recently also. And the same cartel, Sinaloa, because he was arrested there, is at war with the entire country of Mexico. So the military and the local police are in straight up, out and out war with this one cartel. Dozens and dozens of police and military have been injured and or killed. Dozens of these cartel members have been injured or killed. All of a sudden, Joe Biden is interested in Mexico. He hasn't been interested in our border being infiltrated since, ever. He hasn't visited the border in God knows how long, even though he lied and said he has been to the border. It's been at least 10 years. He made this really weird, random announcement about his border policies.
If you're trying to leave Cuba, Nicaragua, or Haiti, have agreed to begin a journey to America, do not just show up at the border. Stay where you are and apply legally from there. Starting today, if you don't apply through the legal process, you will not be eligible for this new parole program. Let me reiterate. You need a lawful sponsor in the United States of America, number one. And you need to undergo a rigorous background check, number two. If your application is approved and you show up at a U.S. airport or when and where directed,
well, nobody asked him his border policies. They've asked him to correct this for the last 2 years before allowing 5 known million people into this country. Known. So we're throwing out this number as if that's the number. Well, how many people weren't contacted? Who knows? I'd say it's probably an additional 2. At least 2 million to be conservative. I don't know. Schumer said 11 million, but only because it was advantageous for the Democrats to use that number. So our president is deciding to finally go down to the border now that there's an all-out war in Mexico. Why? Why would he risk our Secret Service, risk international war by going down there during the time of war? Because if his plane or anything takes fire, that is a declaration of war. Donald Trump, before he left office, wanted to declare the Mexican cartels, the drug cartels, terrorist organizations. Mexico did not want that. Why? It's their source of money. Their government is corrupt. For whatever reason, and I don't know if it's the new president, because it's the same guy that was in office when Trump was in office. Why all of a sudden he decided to arrest El Chapo's son now is really weird to me. I heard him say that it was a gift to the United States, as if we care. We would care if we were extraditing him here, but they're not. So now they have to deal with him. And you have an entire country's military focusing on this one small city. I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try it. I'll put it on the screen. It starts with a C.
Border secure?
I think that there is no question that we have to do what the president and I asked Congress to do. Is the first request we made. Pass a bill to create a pathway to citizenship. The border is secure.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration. We also have to put in place a law and a plan for a pathway for citizenship for the millions of people who are here and are prepared to do what is legally required to gain citizenship. We don't have that in place because people are playing politics.
The Biden administration, Jean-Pierre.
The facts are more individuals encountered at the border will be removed or expelled this year than in any previous year. But that's the work that we have been doing.
Is the border secure?
I'm just going to refer back to the Vice President. We agree with her. She is saying that there's a lot of work to do, right? She also said that in that very statement. We agree that the border is secure, but there is still more work to be done.
This year. So how is the border secure?
So we see record seizures of fentanyl at the border, so we're actually catching fentanyl before it enters the country. So that's how we see that. Look, as far as the border, we're taking unprecedented action. We had to fix something that was broken, especially by the last administration. Compare that to the Trump administration, which largely just tried to build a wall, an ineffective wall, along the border and couldn't even finish that in 4 years. We're certainly doing a lot more to secure the border and could be doing even more if Republicans would stop their obstruction.
The border is secure. The border is secure. Mayorkas is the other one.
Is the border safe? Now I was watching a news channel and they were talking about an invasion was happening and I got a little concerned.
Look, the border is secure. The border, we are working to make the border more secure. That has been a historic challenge.
The border's secure. Well, there's a war on the border right now. We still have the 5 to 6 million people crossing the border that have come already. We still have crisis in El Paso to the point where they had to declare a state of emergency. How's the border secure? I'm trying to understand if there's a straight up war on the border, the same border that people are crossing. How can they say that it's secure when these people can come across at any time? Border Control, ICE, says it's not secure, but their bosses say it is. Who do you believe? Biden comes up with this half thought out, conflicting plan, which is essentially the plan that he got rid of on day one when he got into office, of stopping the stay in Mexico policy that Trump put into place. So if you want to claim asylum, stay in Mexico and do it the right way. That, as soon as they got rid of that, Biden's unlawful border, you could just come in at any time, say, oh, I want asylum, and then they let you go wherever you want. Okay, call us back. We'll hit you up when we're ready to review your case. We're just so backed up. It's so busy. Why? Because there's so many of you guys coming saying the exact same thing. Oh, so it's not secure? How is it secure? If there's too many people to process on the border and you're not able to process them all, but you're just letting them come in, how do you know who's here? How are you processing them? Call us back. You're number 6,348 in the queue. Can you imagine picking up the phone and being number 6,348 in the queue? What are you gonna do? That's what these people are doing. Only you're number 1,300,648 in their queue. What does that look like? How long before they actually call you back? By then, you're here for a couple of years. You've got a job, illegally or legally. Well, illegally or illegally. You've got a job illegally, and you're just here. Depending on where you are, of course, you can get ID. In California, you can even vote as soon as you get across the border. They'll actually send somebody to help you get an ID, driver's license. Same with New York. Well, easy. They don't really want illegals. They just want to talk about how they want illegals. As soon as you send them there, emergency, we don't know what to do. Call the military. We're going to send them all away. While they complain about somebody sending them their way. And that's just a couple thousand, like 5,000. 1 to 5,000. State of emergency. El Paso did something very interesting.
Good morning, Claudia. The reports are that El Paso's being cleaned up in preparation for Joe Biden. I'm curious, who's doing that cleanup and why?
Good morning. Yes, so it's very unfortunate that the cleanup started earlier this week. I spoke to officials yesterday, and they notified me that there was absolutely 0 community releases from the Border Patrol. So what that means is that when Border Patrol has these encounters, they take them, they process them, and then they release them into the city of El Paso. And we had 0. Border Patrol agents began to clean El Paso. I'm sure that they are just as disappointed because the whole purpose of President Biden coming to El Paso is for him to see firsthand the mess that is going on here, firsthand, something that has never happened in El Paso before. Mind you, we are a city of immigrants. We have people coming into our community every single day, and they're coming here legally. Everybody in El Paso has a migration story, and I mean, it defeats the purpose of President Biden coming to El Paso by cleaning up the streets the way they are.
They cleaned up their streets. Why? I spent a lot of years, decades with an S, decades in retail. And it always drove me crazy and confused me. When the big bosses would come in, people would clean up their stores, or we would have a boss, a district manager, send all the other managers to these stores. Clean them up real nice so when the boss gets there, it looks perfect. Or in my case, I would have to monitor stores of newer managers. And if they get out of control, me and that store manager would have to figure out how to get it cleaned up if there's a visit from the big bosses. The point of that was to not show how bad the manager was at that store. So El Paso right now is cleaning up for their visit. Why? Is it to not show how bad the leadership there is? It's very strange to me that they would do that when the purpose of him supposedly going there is to see the problems, to know how to address the problems that they have. How's he going to see them if it looks beautiful, it's cleaned up? They're out there power washing, cleaning windows, getting the homeless off the street. Who are the homeless? Illegals. Why are you guys cleaning it up? What's the real point of this visit? Why would he allocate more money to you if it's clean and it looks beautiful? Same thing in retail. Well, wow, your store looks great. You're a great manager. Move on. Okay, then you go right back to having the problems that you had before. So when El Paso did that, it's very curious to me as to what the real motive was for him coming down there. Did the El Paso officials clean it up? Or did Biden's people come in and clean it up for just so he didn't see reality, because you guys are blocking reality and you're delaying any possible solution to you guys' issues. And it's just really, I don't understand it. Do you want the president to know what's going on, or do you want to hide the truth from him? What does that say about you? What does that say about your city? What does that say about your leadership?